Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, I listened to another few hours of a focus group of swing voters, so you don't have to. These were focus groups conducted by the company called Engageus. There were 12 participants over two groups. They were all Michigan residents. They were all people who voted for Donald Trump in 2020, or excuse me, 2020 went for Biden and then flipped to Donald Trump in 2024. So here's the breakdown of their party affiliation. There were two Democrats, two Republicans, and then 8 independent voters. So independents are just taking over. They make up by far the biggest chunk of the electorate now. That this is why I keep saying over and over again, don't get upset what you hear about MAGA and how they're still 100% supporting Trump. They are just a tiny, tiny fraction of the voters that actually got him into office this past year. So they are not really important. I mean, do we still want to nibble around the edges and get rid of some of them, knock them off? Yes, of course we do. But it's the independents that are most important. So here's what they ask these people. As always, they ask them, are you more or less anxious about the economy since Donald Trump took office? This is really interesting. So 0 out of the 12 said that they were less anxious. 11 out of the 12 said that they are more anxious now, and only one person said, I'm about the same. So he hasn't made anyone feel better. And this was a focus group done after he started this war, but before the price of gas shot through the roof. So the next focus groups are going to be very, very consequential. And here I want to share with you what some of them said about why they're feeling more anxious about the economy. So take a listen to this.
Inflation as well as job security. I know a lot of people who's lost their jobs since he started his presidency for the second time.
The tariffs, it started with tariff. Obviously, inflation will be it's just around the corner. It's already there, but more is around the corner. Israel has been a money pit for 50, 60 years now. And now US is going into creating its own pit like Venezuela, Iran, Cuba coming up next, then further would be there.
Just the rising costs, inflation, and that incomes are not rising with that. And we still seem to be supporting billionaires more than the middle class.
All 2024 Trump voters. And what was really clear in this focus group, or these two focus groups, is that Donald Trump just completely took ownership of the economy by starting this war. And what I mean by that is in previous focus groups, there were a lot more people who were saying, oh no, it's still Biden's economy, which is just infuriating. Because it's like, okay, when does it become Donald Trump's economy? I mean, he's done all these crazy things, especially with the tariffs, but yet he doesn't own this economy. But now, what I saw in this last focus group, which was conducted on March 10th, is that people are now like, yeah, this is going to destroy the economy. This is 100% on him. So he absolutely screwed himself with this war, which makes you wonder, as we have been saying, like, is he being blackmailed? Because that seems to be the only reason why he would do something so completely antithetical to fixing the economy and trying to make things better so that he can keep his majority in the House and the Senate after the midterm. Anyway, they also asked these people what their top issue or concern is. No shock, 9 out of the 12 said the war is their top issue. It was the economy. Now it's the war, and I'm sure it's going to be a combination of those two going forward. And then they asked them, do you approve or disapprove of the war? Surprisingly, 3 out of the 12 said they approve. 9 said, no, I disapprove. And then I want you to take a listen to what some of them had to say about why they disapprove of this war.
Like he has a underlying motive. So that's pretty much why I don't agree with it. I know his son brought like a lot of oil stock. So I just feel like there was a hidden agenda.
I'm not exactly even sure yet why we went to war, considering all the various versions we have received and the enormous cost of war in terms of what it does to our economy, what it does to the world economy, when we have enormous need within our own societies in Michigan.
How much do we have to do to hide these Epstein files? Like, I feel like the president is doing everything he can to not admit the fact that his name is in here and this is what he did. Take ownership of it. And again, have we not learned as Americans to stop fighting other people's wars? Korean War, Vietnam War, all the wars that we don't have to be involved in, but yet we've taken the baton and now we're fighting for Israel. And now we're having another population being decimated because Israel wants to take over everybody's land.
I don't think it's necessary for them to be fighting somebody else's war, to be fighting the war for Israel. It's just not necessary for America to intervene always and fight Israel's wars for them.
Well, I disapprove because I'm afraid that it's going to turn into something that's larger than what it is right now. So when we went to Iraq and it just went on and on and on, and I'm afraid that it will turn into something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. And by the way, that last woman who said she's worried about it turning into something larger, she is one of the few who said that she still overall approves of Trump's presidency. So even she, as one of the people in these two groups that was most defensive of Trump, most happy with him, she is concerned about this war even. And what's funny is that there was one man who approves of the war, but he didn't even know what day it started. So the people who, this is always the way it is, the people who know the least always seem to be the ones who support him. It's like, that's called a clue, right? Maybe if you knew more, maybe if you understood that the war is going on longer than what you thought, you would also disapprove. Obviously, this guy had no idea that it had been going on as long as it has. Anyway, they also asked them about the Iran attack and whether or not it was making them feel more secure or less secure. Because remember, Donald Trump is out there saying, oh, this is to make the American people safer and feel more secure and blah, blah, blah. Well, what do you know? 9 out of the 12 said, no, I feel less secure now. One of them stupidly said, I feel more secure. 2 of them said, I don't really feel any different, which they're also stupid because it's like, okay, well, Donald Trump just put a target on all of us. So, and then they asked them, they always ask this, what is the emotion you feel when you see Donald Trump? So not what he is expressing, but what emotion he evokes in you. And so here's some of the answers. Fear and anxiety, annoyed, embarrassed, disappointment, pride, amused, flabbergasted, indifferent. 2 of them said disgusted, 1 said intrigued, and another said confused. And then, as always, they asked them overall, it could be 51-49, whatever the case may be, but overall, do you approve or disapprove of Donald Trump's presidency so far? Only 4 out of the 12 said they approve. 8 out of the 12 disapprove. And I also put together a little clip for you guys so you could hear what some of them have to say about why they disapprove of Trump's second term. And I'm going to have more of this for you guys in the upcoming FAFO videos, but I wanted to share some of them here. So take a listen.
He said, he promised that when he comes to he gives a statement, he just spits it out without thinking, there is nothing to back up. Saying oh, this medicine caused this kind of problem. You have no backup. You have no proof of that, or not even consulting with anybody. So I think that's kind of sad, just because being a president and giving a statement like that, you have to think, because there are millions and millions of people are listening to it, Your wrong sentence, your wrong statement affects a lot of people.
When he came into office, he sold promises of things that he was going to change, fix the broken system, but instead he broke it even more. And it's costing more money to fix what he called he was going to fix. And instead, it's not working. So I don't approve of, and the things how he's handling certain things is a little bit too much. It's like the extreme, like the pendulum went from nothing being done to now too much and not the right people in office to do it.
I know what you guys are doing right now. You are screaming at the computer. Trust me, I scream at the computer when I'm listening to these people, when I listen to these focus groups. How did they not know this, right? Like, how is this a mystery? How is this a surprise to them? Like, were you not awake? Were you in a coma during his first term? Anyway, they also asked, if you could go back and do it over again, knowing what you know now, would you vote for Kamala Harris? 2 out of the 12 said yes. So it's starting to creep up a little. It used to be none, and then it crept up to 1, like toward the end of last year. And now this year, it's been, on average, it's been like 2 of them out of 12 or 14 who say, yes, if I could go back and do it over, I would vote for Kamala Harris. Hopefully that'll tick up, but the majority are saying if it's between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, or if she's, the nominee again, I'm just going to sit it out. So do with that information what you will. I mean, right now she's leading on the Democratic side in the polls. I think a lot of that is just because of name recognition and because she ran last time. So people are, just going with her. I am hoping that Ro Khanna steps up. I'm hoping that he runs in this next presidential election in 2028. I think he is our best hope. As a man, unfortunately, I mean, it is sad to say, you've got Mexico with a female leader. You've even got Japan, which is such a misogynistic, sexist country. Hate to say that, but it is. I mean, it is so, paternal and patriarchal. And I mean, and yet they even have a prime minister that's a female. And yet we in America, the pinnacle of democracy, and we can't elect a woman. It's pathetic. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, he is a man. Yes, he is a man of color, but he is very well liked by even people on the right. People who are sick of the corruption, people who want to know the truth about the Epstein files. He's done a good job for himself going on Fox News and making the case. So, and he is a true progressive. He's not one of these faux-gressives, as I call them. So anyway, guys, there you go. The tide is turning. Things are getting better. I will have more for you. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.